Fair play to Wales. That was one of the best second-half performances I've ever seen in the Six Nations. When you are trailing 27-0, it's easy to capitulate and the scoreline could easily have been very ugly. I'm visiting the team at the Vale on Tuesday, and at halftime I was thinking about cancelling my trip. It would have been a pretty horrible place to be if things hadn't turned around, but those last 35 minutes will completely change the mood. When Wales have their team meeting tomorrow, the conversation will be about how they can pick up that second-half performance and take it to Twickenham. I thought England were okay against Italy, but they certainly don't look unbeatable. Momentum is a big thing in rugby, and the energy was all with Wales by the end of the match in Cardiff. The impact Thomas Williams made at scrum half from the bench was outstanding. His form for Cardiff has been brilliant over the past 12 months, and he took that onto the test stage. Nothing was going Wales's way in the first half. They were losing the line-out, collisions and the kicking game. If it wasn't for some big interventions from Tommy Reffell, the game would have been well and truly out of sight. Wales read the situation and made the decision not to kick the ball in the second half. Thomas was at the heart of that. They chanced their arm and played with speed, energy and X-factor. Elliot Dee, Alex Mann and Johan Lloyd all made an impact. They really put Scotland under the cosh and forced them to concede 14 penalties on the spin. Scotland capitulated, but I'm sure England will be far tighter and more streetwise next week. Their line speed in Rome was faster than I've ever seen from them. Felix Jones implemented a rush defence, just like South Africa's. Wales's second-half attitude will be the best way to approach that. They may well have a new number 10 after Sam Costello went off after 35 minutes, failing a head injury assessment, and it won't get much tougher for him than that. He will have learned a lot. It was my first time watching the Six Nations since I retired, and I put my feet up for the game on the sofa at home in Toulon. I had my two boys with me in the living room and it felt very strange. You feel quite removed from it out here. I'm used to the weather being cold, wet and dark for the first match, but we had the patio doors open, 18 degrees outside. Watching the BBC team on commentary was pretty surreal. I sent a few good luck messages, spoke to Thomas and Josh Adams before the game, and when the game was getting really tight, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. When you hear the atmosphere at that point, there's a small part of you that wishes you were out there with them. But I'm content with my decision to step away. Ireland were a cut above anything else this weekend. They were clinical, efficient, organised. They have 3 games at home, which is a huge advantage. They don't have a brilliant record at Twickenham, so that's the only stumbling block I can see to them getting the Grand Slam. On this weekend's evidence, it's hard to tip anyone but them for the title. There's always a bit of transition after a World Cup, but Ireland looked right up to speed. That's a reflection of Andy Farrell's coaching, and he absolutely deserves the Lions coaching job for next year. The Ireland players all knew what they were doing, they were in sync and they had a clear plan. They moved the ball into the 13 channel and made gains. Jack Crowley had a daunting job taking over the number 10 jersey from Johnny Sexton, but he marshalled the game and kicked his points. France, on the other hand, looked so very tired, sluggish and pedestrian, which is everything they haven't been for the past few years. The Ireland players have a lot less game time for their clubs than the French players in the top 14, and I think that showed. It's Ireland's to lose.